It was the kind of morning that should have been peaceful. Soft light filtered through the blinds, and the smell of coffee drifted through the Grant family's kitchen in Cedar Hill, Ohio. But peace was something that had grown foreign in that house. "Mark, how many times do I have to remind you to take the trash out?" Anna's voice sliced through the room, sharp and tense. Her husband looked up from his tablet, startled. "I was going to do it before work. It's barely 7. "Barely 7? It's been stinking since yesterday." She shot back. The cabinet door slammed. Their daughter, Rachel, age 16, slid quietly out of the kitchen, clutching her cereal bowl. She'd seen this scene too many times, her parents sparring over nothing until one of them walked out. Anna felt the sting of guilt even as the words left her mouth. She knew how ugly her anger sounded, but it rose too quickly, like a match catching fire. She hated it though her voice hardened, how her chest tightened, how her own husband's eyes flickered with caution. It wasn't that she wanted to hurt him. She just didn't know how to stop herself. And lately, she wasn't sure who she was anymore. At St. Gabriel's Parish, Father Thomas's voice carried through the morning air. The Blessed Mother teaches us that peace isn't the absence of struggle. It's the triumph of love over anger. Even as her son suffered, her heart refused to turn to rage. Anna stared at the crucifix above the altar. Her stomach churned. Her fight with Mark replayed in her mind, every bitter word echoing through her conscience. When Mass ended, she lingered by the statue of Mary near the exit. Candles flickered at the Virgin's feet, their wax pooling like quiet tears. She noticed a note tucked beneath the marble base. It was written in a child's uneven handwriting. "Dear Mary, please help my parents stop yelling." Something inside her cracked. She didn't know whose child had written it, but she could have sworn those words were hers to hear. That night, she sat awake in bed beside a snoring Mark, staring into the dark. The question pulsed through her mind. What's wrong with me? By Wednesday, the world seemed determined to test her. Her boss at the insurance office pinned a billing error on her that wasn't hers. The washing machine flooded the laundry room. Rachel left a pile of unfolded clothes on the couch. Mark forgot to pay the electric bill. By Friday, the tension had grown unbearable. When Mark mentioned the bill casually over dinner, Anna's voice erupted like a storm. "You never take anything seriously. I have to do everything around here, everything." Mark slammed his fork down. "You're not the only one under pressure. Anna, you talk to me like I'm some failure." She stood up, heart pounding. "Then stop acting like one." The silence that followed was worse than shouting. Mark's eyes hardened, and for a long moment, neither of them moved. Then he pushed his chair back and left the table without a word. Rachel's fork trembled in her hand. "Mom, please don't." Anna grabbed her car keys and walked out. She drove aimlessly through the rain, the streets glistening under the orange streetlights. She didn't know where she was going, only that she needed to escape the version of herself she couldn't stand anymore. That's when she saw it, a small chapel at the end of a quiet road. Its sign read, Our Lady of Serenity. Inside, the chapel smelled of old wood and candle wax. Rain whispered against the stained glass windows. Anna sat in the back pew, numb. She didn't know how to pray anymore. She hadn't spoken to God in months, maybe years. "Why can't I stop being this way?" she murmured. Her voice broke. The anger she'd used as armor dissolved into helpless tears. And then, amid the silence, something stirred, not a sound, but a sense. A mother's voice, gentle and knowing, rose inside her heart. "You cannot quench fire with fire, my child, only with water." She froze. The words didn't come from her imagination. They came from somewhere deeper, calm, maternal, and utterly loving. She bowed her head. "Teach me how." That moment in the chapel became her turning point. They won the pause. The next morning, Mark accidentally spilled coffee on her freshly mopped floor. Her body tensage could feel the flame rising, but she stopped herself. She closed her eyes, breathed deeply, and said softly, "It's okay. Let's clean it up together." Mark looked stunned. "You're not mad?" She forced a smile, trying not to be. It was small, but it felt like the first drop of water on her fire. Every time her irritation sparked, she whispered under her breath, "Lord, make me an instrument of peace." Sometimes she felt foolish, but the whisper calmed her heart before the flame could catch. At work, a coworker criticized her in front of the entire staff. Her face went hot. Her pride screamed for defense. But then she remembered the cross. Jesus had endured worse without hatred. So she swallowed the anger and simply said, "Thank you for pointing that out. I'll fix it." Later, that same coworker stopped by her desk. "Hey, sorry if I embarrassed you earlier. I shouldn't have said that." Grace had softened both hearts. That night, Anna knocked on Rachel's door. Her daughter looked up from her phone. Guarded. "Sweetheart," Anna said quietly, "I know I've yelled too much. I don't want to be that kind of mom." Rachel hesitated, then nodded. "I know you're trying." Anna smiled weakly. "Can we start over?" Rachel crossed the room and hugged her. "Okay." During adoration that evening, Anna wrote in her journal, "My anger isn't strength, it's pain. Lord, heal what I've been hiding." Tears stained the page. For the first time, she faced what was really beneath her: rage, exhaustion, resentment, fear of being unloved. She laid it all before God. When she felt frustrated at long grocery lines, at traffic, at rude customers, she offered it up. "This moment, Lord, is for someone who's hurting worse than I am." Her anger began to transform into intercession. On Sunday, she returned to Our Lady of Serenity and lit a candle. "Thank you, Mother," she whispered. "I'm still weak, but I'm willing." The flame flickered gently, reflected in Mary's serene eyes. A month later, the test came. Rachel got into a fight at school after a boy made a cruel comment about their family. The principal called. She's suspended for 3 days. When Rachel came home, Anna's old anger rose like a reflex. "What were you thinking?" she snapped. Rachel shot back. "He said Dad doesn't even want to come home because you're always angry." What was I supposed to let him say that? Anna froze. Her throat tightened. The truth in her daughter's words cut deeper than any insult. For a long time, she said nothing. Then quietly, she sat beside Rachel on the couch. "I'm sorry," she said. "You learned anger from me. But that's not who we're meant to be." Rachel blinked, confused. "You're not mad." "I'm sad," Anna said softly. "But maybe we can both learn something from this." They prayed together that night, clumsy, uneven words whispered into the dark. But it was a beginning. Weeks turned into months. The old Anna still surfaced now and then, but less often. She'd learned to breathe before speaking, to pray instead of reacting. At work, people noticed. Her supervisor said, "You've got this calm energy lately. Whatever you're doing, keep it up." Anna smiled. "It's not me. It's Grace." One cold afternoon at the parish soup kitchen, she served meals to the homeless. A woman ahead of her shouted when told the soup had run out. "Don't tell me there's no food left. I've been waiting all day." The old fire flared inside Anna for a split second, but she remembered the voice. Water, not fire. She stepped forward. "Hold on, sweetheart. Let me find something for you." A few minutes later, she brought a plate of warm bread and fruit. The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. I'm just tired." Anna nodded. "I know. We all are. But we'll make it through." The woman smiled weakly. "God bless you." For the first time in years, Anna felt the same blessing return to her own heart. That evening, she returned home to find Mark in the kitchen fixing a broken drawer handle, the same drawer she had once slammed so hard the hinge cracked. He looked up. "Remember this?" She chuckled. "How could I forget?" He tightened the screw and set the screwdriver down. "You've changed, Anna." "Not me," she said quietly. "Just grace and maybe a little help from the Blessed Mother." Mark smiled. "Whatever it is, I'm grateful. I've missed this piece." They sat down to dinner. No shouting, no tension, just conversation about Rachel's grades, Mark's work, and the upcoming parish retreat. Outside, the first snow began to fall, soft and soundless, blanketing the neighborhood in stillness. 2 months later, Father Thomas approached Anna after Mass. "Would you consider speaking at the women's retreat next month? Your story might help someone." Anna hesitated. "I'm no saint, Father." He smiled. Neither was Peter when Christ called him. At the retreat, Anna stood before a small group of women, some with weary eyes, some with folded arms, some already crying. She told them about the nights she'd screamed, the shame afterward, the prayer that changed her, the slow miracle of peace returning one act of restraint at a time. When she finished, the room was silent. Then a woman in the back raised her hand, tears glistening. "My husband left last year because I couldn't stop yelling. I thought I was too far gone." Anna walked down from the podium and hugged her. "No one is too far gone," she whispered. "Not when we start with a prayer." That night, Anna returned once more to Our Lady of Serenity. The same candle still burned beneath Mary's statue. She knelt and closed her eyes. "Thank you for teaching me to put out the fire." In that moment, she realized something profound. The fire inside her hadn't disappeared, it had changed. It no longer burned to destroy. It burned to warm. The fire of anger had become the fire of love. Anger, she realized, is not pure evil. It's a cry for justice, a protest of the heart. But left unguarded, it becomes a weapon that wounds the ones we love. Through Mary's quiet strength, Anna had learned that peace wasn't the absence of storms, it was learning to carry calm within them. She wasn't perfect. She still stumbled. But each day she chose peace again. And that choice remade her life. Now I ask you, the listener, the reader, have you ever let anger dictate your words, your actions, your home? Have you seen how rage can twist love into something unrecognizable? Do you believe peace can truly conquer violence in our families, our streets, our world? Tell me what you think. How do you see forgiveness and justice working together in your own life? Can faith heal the divisions anger leaves behind? Leave your thoughts below. Let this be more than a story. Let it be a conversation about the violence, the wounds, and the hope we all share. Because peace doesn't begin with policies or speeches. It begins with one heart choosing love over rage, one fire transformed into light,